Hi guys, thank you very much for being a part of today's class. I really appreciate each and every one of you that has taken out time to attend. Today we will be looking at how to buy a private company with the assets and change its corporate structure. Before we proceed, let's have an overview of today's class. A private company limited by shares is brought to life in line with the Companies and Allied Matters Act CAMA 2020 after it has been duly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission CAC. Thereafter, it will start acquiring assets and liabilities, so anyone who is interested in purchasing a company in Nigeria can buy either the structure, that is the certificate of incorporation status report. If it's an older company, the CAC form 1.1, 2, 2.1, 3, and 7, as well as the memorandum and articles of association. On the other hand, if it's a more prosperous company, the purchaser will have to assess and pay for the assets of such company and its business. Okay, let's ask ourselves this question. Why is it necessary? Why is it significant to buy an already existing company as against incorporating a new one? The answer is very simple. It enhances investment opportunities. Investors or non-business institutions, they are comfortable dealing with older companies with at least 3 years audited accounts, and also it aids business expansion. So buying an already existing company as against incorporating a new one aids business expansion. So acquiring an existing company can provide a faster and more efficient entry into the Nigerian market compared to starting a business from the scratch. And also it helps in winning government, MDA, and international NGO contracts. So buying an existing company will open procurement opportunities to investors because procuring entities, they give credence to companies with a track record of regulatory compliance than newly incorporated companies. Okay, so let's then look at understanding the Nigerian corporate structure of a private company limited by shares. What are those factors that must be present in all private company limited by shares in Nigeria? Okay, every private company in Nigeria must have a name, a registered address in Nigeria as evidenced in the certificate of incorporation and the status report. If it's an older company, the CAC3. So every company after the registration process is issued a certificate of incorporation, and on that certificate of incorporation the name of the company will be stated, and also the status report must state the registered address of the company. And also all private companies limited by shares are expected to have shareholders, and shareholders are individuals or entities who own shares in the company. So shareholders, their liability is limited to the amount they have invested in the company as well as their profit. And also all private companies limited by shares are expected to have directors. The directors are appointed by the shareholders to manage the company's operations and make strategic decisions with regards to the growth of such company. And all private companies limited by shares are expected to have a memorandum and articles of association. These are legal documents that outline the company's purpose, activities, share capital, and internal governance rules. The memorandum of association specifies the company's objectives and powers, while the articles of association governs the company's internal management and procedure. Very importantly, all private companies limited by shares are expected to file annual returns with the Corporate Affairs Commission each year. Okay, let's now look at how to identify and evaluate target companies for purchase. That's if you want to purchase a company in Nigeria, what are those steps that you have to put in place in order to achieve that purpose? The very first thing that you really have to do in order to have a seamless purchase is to ensure that you define your acquisition criteria. What are those critical factors that you have to put in place in order to make sure that you purchase a company without stress? The very first is to consider the company's size, the location, the industry sector, the growth potential, and the synergy with your existing company. These are the very key factors that you must put in place to make sure you have a seamless purchase. And also very key is that you really have to connect with relevant stakeholders who have the information about companies that are available for acquisition. Not all companies are up for sale. There are those that are up for sale, so you really have to connect with the people that can link you up with the companies that are up for sale. And also you have to engage professional advisors such as EBIT Nigeria that can help you identify suitable companies and also help you navigate the acquisition process. Very importantly also is that you really have to conduct a financial analysis to understand the company's historical and projected financial performance. That is to evaluate the financial health of the company that you wish to purchase. And once you have done that, you really have to now make an evaluation, determine the value of the target company. What is the company worth before you can be able to put your money down for the purchase. So once you have made your valuations and determined that it's something that is worth buying, the next thing is for you to go ahead and make the purchase. Okay, now let's now look at implementing the acquisition and changing the corporate structure of the acquired company. In CAC, you have acquired the company and now is the time for you to change the corporate structure. What are the steps that you have to take in order to achieve that purpose? The very first thing that you have to do is that you have to change the name and the registered address to that of the acquiring company if necessary. Some persons might decide to retain the name and the registered address of the target company, but if you decide to change, that is fine. And also you have to transfer ownership and shares from the target company to the acquiring company because ownership have changed hand. And also key in the process of corporate restructuring is changing the legal structure, such as amending the articles of association or the memorandum of association to reflect the changes in the corporate structure. You really have to update your corporate governance, and that is by establishing a new board and committee of to restructure, and if necessary you appoint new directors that will oversee the affairs of the target company that you have just acquired. And also very important issue that You have to communicate the changes in the corporate structure and the acquisition to your customers as well as the employees to know that there is a change of guard. Very importantly, you have to regularly monitor and evaluate the progress of the integration process. That's the implementation of the new corporate structure so that you can achieve the desired result that you have set out for. Okay, when acquiring a company and changing its corporate structure, it is crucial to consider various legal and regulatory aspects. So here are some key considerations that you must put in place. Everything is supposed to be done according to Companies and Allied Matters Act so that you can be in accordance with the law. And also, depending on the industry or sector in which the company operates, you may need approvals from regulatory bodies such as the Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, or any other relevant authorities. And also, it's very important you review the existing contracts and agreements of the target company to understand any provisions relating to change of control or company restructuring. Very important. This you can find in the Articles of Association. You have to conduct a thorough review of the target company's intellectual property assets, including the trademark, the patents, the copyrights, and trade secrets to ensure there is no infringement whatsoever. And very important, you have to consult with a tax advisor to determine the tax consequences related to the purchase, transfer of assets, etc. Okay, it's very important that we answer this question. Can changing the corporate structure have a significant impact on business growth? Okay, here are some key ways in which changing your corporate structure can influence business growth. The very first on the list is it allows businesses to reorganize their operations and processes, which leads to improved efficiency. It allows companies to realign their resources, capabilities, and competencies with their long-term objectives. It enables businesses to enter into new market and expand their customer base, which is the essence of any business operation. And for instance, through capital restructuring such as increase in authorized share capital or equity financing, businesses can strengthen their financial position, enhance their borrowing capacity, and fund growth initiatives. So changing the corporate structure in a strategic and well-executed manner can enhance investors' confidence and attract potential investors. Thank you very much for staying with me to the end. You can bear witness that we have really done justice with regards to the topic of today, how we can be able to purchase a company and change its corporate structure to your taste. And we have really done that by looking at why it is significant to buy an already existing company as against incorporating a new one. And also we have taken a critical look at the Nigerian corporate structure of a private company limited by shares, and also how to identify and evaluate target companies for purchases, what we have dwelt on, and implementing the acquisition and changing the corporate structure of the acquired company is CAC, is something that we have also taken care of. Okay, when acquiring a company and changing its corporate structure, what are the crucial things to consider? We have also dwelt on that. Okay, also a significant impact on business growth for changing your corporate structure. They are all the things that we have really touched on. So it is very important to thoroughly plan and carry out a due diligent action in acquiring and changing the corporate structure of a company in Nigeria so that you will have a seamless purchase. Thank you very much. I hope to see you in the next class.